a story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel that there is something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and 2022 marks the start of the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the fourth day of the second month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Reggae Month and Heart Month activities continue here in Jamaica, even as Black History Month celebrations continue in the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, and the Netherlands. It's International Day of Human Fraternity. The faithful all over the globe are marking World Interfaith Harmony Week. Here in Jamaica, Restorative Justice Week is drawing to a close. Optimists around the world are celebrating Optimist Day. Angolans are commemorating the commencement of the armed struggle, and the Sri Lankans are celebrating Independence Day. It's World Cancer Day. Hoy es viernes el 4 de febrero 2022. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Relax, Paul. Cover your nose and your mouth now and stay far from me. It looks like the flu have you aware.
I'm to tell you, I have fever this morning. Right now, I'm in some pain. But I still have a try go for Pinky to get some phone credit.
It's like you never hear a thing where the nurse tell me the other day. She said we feel rest if we have the flu. We feel cover with nose and with mouth when we cough or we sneeze. And we feel wash we hand regular with soap and water. You better try go back in your yard and stop spread the flu. The flu is no joke. Visit your doctor or nearest health center. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
In need of a locksmith?
Call Lock Safe and Vault Limited, the experts in the business, specializing in safes, vault doors, cash protector units, locks, crowd control, and locksmith services. Lock Safe and Vault Limited, 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Telephone 924-555-023 or 924-01245. Jamaicans at home and abroad, it's now here. The Jamaica Customs Agency's first podcast series, Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. under the theme JCA, Embracing Digital Transformation and Building a Data Ecosystem. Log on to the Jamaica Customs Agency and Cleaner YouTube channels for real, relevant, and accurate information right at your fingertips. That's Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. We keep the talk real. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus. Becky is a deal hunter. She flips through the newspapers every day for great deals on products and services. Wow, I saw the same deal online.
Really? Where?
I found it on G-Commerce.
G-Commerce? What's that?
It's an online site for deals. Here, have a look.
Wow! These are deals that I have just found in the newspaper, plus others I haven't seen before.
Yep. Best of all, you can make the purchases right here on the site and have it either picked up or delivered right to your door.
That's great! Where do I sign up?
Go to gcommerceja.com to sign up and start clicking for the deals. gcommerceja.com, where the best deals are found.
C'est vendredi le 4 février 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story. Le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Friday, the 4th of February, 2022, and we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. We started out this afternoon with the Optimist Creed. Optimist Day was actually yesterday, usually celebrated on the first Thursday every February. So belatedly, happy Optimist Day. And we shared this afternoon the Optimist Creed. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel that there is something in them to look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. That's the Optimist Creed, which was written by Christian D. Larson. Christian D. Larson. Christian, just as you would spell that word, the letter D, and the surname is Larson, Larson, Christian D. Larson. So Optimist Day was yesterday, and we just used the opportunity to share the Optimist Creed, authored by Christian D. Larson. And then today, the 4th of February, is actually the earliest possible date to observe Ash Wednesday. Today, the 4th of February, is actually the earliest possible date to observe Ash Wednesday. According to the Western Christian calendar, Ash Wednesday is the first day of Lent and occurs 46 days before Easter. And technically speaking, if you don't count Sundays, the actual period is 40 days before Easter. Ash Wednesday is therefore what is described as a movable fast, falling on a different date each year because it is dependent on the date of Easter. It can occur as early, as we said, as today, the 4th of February, or the 5th, if it's a leap year. If it's a leap year, as early as the 5th of February. Other years, it can occur as early, that's Ash Wednesday, can occur as early as the 4th of February, or as late as the 10th of March. So either as early as the 4th of February in a regular year, or the 5th of February in a leap year, or as late as the 10th of March. This year, Ash Wednesday is March 2, the 2nd of March. Ash Wednesday is the 2nd of March this year. Ash Wednesday marks the start, as we said, of, well, we didn't say this yet, but it marks the start of a 40-day period, which is an allusion to the separation of Jesus in the desert to fast and pray. During this time, he was tempted. Matthew 4, 1 to 11, Mark 1, 12 to 13, and Luke 4, 1 to 13. While not specifically instituted in the Bible text, the 40-day period of repentance is also analogous to the 40 days during which Moses repented and fasted in response to the making of the golden calf. Jews today follow a 40-day period of repenting during the high holy days from Rosh Chodesh Elul to Yom Kippur. Thought we'd share that nugget with you at the start of today's program. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you've downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We welcome those of you who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We thank those of you who are logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to both sides of the story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open to you. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, by the way, live video on YouTube, on the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. And we thank you for joining us. Whatever is on your mind, we're anxious to hear from you. Would love to hear from you. The numbers to call 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can also call us via WhatsApp. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello to those who are already online, those who have joined us. Let us salute them. Those of you already, we have saluted you. Those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. Now let's greet those who are watching and listening on Facebook Live via the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. Hello to Sophia Davis Fagan. Doctor, is it? No, not quite. Not yet, is it? Sophia Davis Fagan, good afternoon to you. She says, hi, Dervan. Happy Friday to you and your team. Happy Friday to you too, Sophia Davis Fagan, MSc, PSY. All the best to you. Antoinette Clacken says, hi, Dervan. Blessed afternoon to you too, Antoinette. Quincy Brown, where in the world are you, Quincy Brown? Back in the Cayman Islands? Let's see. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm tuned in from the Cayman Islands. Hello to you, Quincy Brown, and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in the Cayman Islands. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you. And on behalf of the listeners, we accept your blessings and your wishes for the weekend. Inez Iona Campbell says, happy Friday, everyone. To you too, Inez Iona Campbell. Shani Waite, good afternoon and happy Friday to you too, checking in from St. Augustine, Florida. Welcome, Shani Waite in St. Augustine, Florida. Kadeen Daly says, wow, really? 2nd of March for Ash Wednesday? Indeed it is, Kadeen Daly. Thank you very much. And Bernard Farquharson says, blessed day to you, Mr. Malcolm. To you too, Bernard Farquharson. There's more to come in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission. Protecting your rights, securing our future.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Just time enough to take a look at some of the stories trending right now, according to the Gleaner. First up, government to pay up to $500,000 for illegal guns. Not for the first time. Remember the first iteration of this initiative? Yeah, this would have been at least, what year are we in now? 2022. Maybe about, boy, time flies. Maybe about 6 or so years ago, this initiative was instituted of paying people to bring in the guns, illegal guns, or to give information that can lead to the recovery of illegal guns. And so the government will pay up to 500,000 Jamaican dollars for illegal guns. That's the word from the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced a new Get the Guns campaign. Notice the word new, because as we said, it's not the first time. This was started a few years ago, I think about 6 years ago or so. Under the initiative, a reward system will be put in place where between $250,000 and $500,000 will be paid for illegal weapons. Now, hold on now. If you're one of those who will be ratting out those who have illegal guns, please, you want to be smart about it. So there's a confidential way to get the money. But you don't want to go splurging now. You don't want to go splurging when you get the 500,000. People around you who know your condition and your situation might be thinking, wait, I wonder if so-and-so got that, especially if there's an incident in the community or a situation where the police swoop down on the community and go to a specific area and retrieve a gun. So you want to be act as normal as possible for those who are planning to tell the state, to tell the police to report illegal guns, to report illegal guns in communities. You want to be very careful now. You don't want to go splurging in case you help the police to find an illegal gun and you get your $500,000 reward. You want to be very discreet how you don't want to allow too many people into your space in that regard. We have to be smart. We have to be smart. Right, so under the initiative, a reward system will be put in place where between $250,000 and $500,000 will be paid for illegal weapons. Speaking at an event in Olympic Gardens today, Mr. Holness said the undertaking was part of the government's strategy to fight crime. He appealed to people in possession of illegal guns to give them up. He also urged people with information to share it with the police. Today's announcement came a day after 13 guns, including 10 high-powered rifles, were seized in a police operation in the Florence Hall housing scheme in Trelawney. One man was shot and killed in the operation. On Monday, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson indicated that since the start of the year, 88 illegal guns had been recovered, including 13 rifles, the highest haul in January since 2011. Anderson indicated that the AK-47 is the weapon of choice for gunmen in Jamaica, with a gun costing between $500,000 and $1 million to acquire. So that's one of the stories trending on the Gleaner's website right now. There's another story. Well, this story broke earlier on, another tragedy. And this one where a husband and a wife were allegedly killed by their son in Portmore. And the Gleaner tells us the husband and wife allegedly killed by their son in Christian Meadows, Portmore, St. Catherine this morning have been identified. They are 69-year-old Cecil Ramsey, a minister of religion and a painting contractor. So he was a minister of religion and a painting contractor. And his wife, 55-year-old acting vice principal of St. Andrew Preparatory School, Phyllis Ramsey. Their son, Simeon, is in custody. The police report that they received a call and went to Phoenix Park in Dunbeholden in Portmore and spoke with security guards about a Toyota Axio motorcar registered to Phyllis Ramsey that was abandoned in the community. They say the vehicle was searched and blood was found inside. The police say the suspect was later found wandering inside the community and he was apprehended. According to the police, during an initial interview, he informed cops that he had stabbed and killed his parents. The police then escorted the suspect to his home on Antris Avenue in Christian Meadows, where they say the bodies of his parents were found inside the house. The police say a knife was also found. Meanwhile, staff at the St. Andrew Preparatory School have been receiving grief counseling following the murder of the acting vice principal. What a tragedy. There is some indication of mental health issues here. We can't make such pronouncements because we are not experts in that field, but the police seem to be suggesting in another report, in a report that we heard in the news, that there was some mental health issue there. Remember, just yesterday we were saying, we were encouraging all of us to be more vigilant when it comes on to our family, friends, colleagues, neighbors. Be on the alert. These almost 3 years now that we've been coping with COVID-19 have been really rough on all of us. And some of us are more resilient than others. It's not a weakness, it's just a fact. It's a fact. Some of us are more resilient than others. Some of us have been to hell and back and have lived to tell the tale and are still living to tell the tale. It's been a tough time in our history. And so let us be vigilant. Let us be conscious. Let's be cognizant. Let's be mindful. Let's be conscientious. Let's be aware of what's happening around us, what's happening with our friends, our family members, our colleagues, our neighbors. And we know what is normal behavior. As human beings, we tend to engage in routines. So we routinely go walking in the morning, or we routinely go jogging, or we routinely go running, or we routinely walk around the yard or walk around the which housing complex or the housing scheme or wherever. There are some things that we normally do routinely. We routinely weed the garden, whatever it is. Now, in the event that we notice that our relatives, neighbors, friends, colleagues are not doing what they routinely do and they seem a little off, don't rush them in the Jamaican way, one way or another. Just as calm as ever, as warm as ever, as friendly as ever, seek to have a quiet moment with them, away from the glare of the public eye and whoever else in that space. to be able to just reason with that person, to talk with that person, to find out how things are going. Because we can pick up some clues and perhaps do so in time where we can get some help for the individual or individuals. In other words, buy some time, in a manner of speaking, which could end up saving lives. Our condolences to the bereaved family. Condolences to all those who are hurting. There are some more stories which you can always go to the Gleaner's website, jamaica-gleaner.com. But I'll just run through a couple of the headlines quickly. Medical cannabis advocate excited about research for COVID treatment. Now you'd want to hear about that one, right? Because we're dealing with COVID-19, and this is quite current. So here's the story from the Gleaner's Western Bureau. With studies ongoing into the possible use of hemp proteins as a means of fighting the COVID-19 virus, Diane Scott, the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaican Medical Cannabis Corporation Group, JMCC, is voicing support for the potential role of nutraceutical health in treating the disease. She was speaking to the Gleaner on Wednesday following the Ministry of Health and Wellness's official opening of the Savannah Lamar Public Hospital's new field hospital in Westmoreland, for which her company was a donor to the construction project. The field hospital, built at a cost of $35.4 million, has a capacity of 50 bed spaces for COVID-19 patients. And the story goes on. I think any advancement of medical cannabis used in treating new conditions is exciting, and certainly there is a great deal of research for using medical cannabis in areas of pediatric and adult epilepsy, oncology. And when you hear the oncology, the word oncology, think cancer, oncology, cancer, pain management, anxiety, and multiple sclerosis. So it is just natural to think that there would be a benefit for COVID-19, and to now receive research that proves it is, or is working to prove it, is very exciting. All right, so let's see how that unfolds, because of course you'll have to have all kinds of tests. And this declaration came 1 week after consultant physician and biomedical researcher Professor Errol Morrison voiced certainty that 2 compounds found in hemp, one of them is cannabidiolic or cannabidiolic acid, cannabidiolic acid, CBDA, and a cannabigerolic acid, CBGA, could block COVID-19 from entering human cells. So those are the two compounds identified that are found in hemp. Cannabidiolic acid, CBDA, and let's do that again. Cannabigerolic acid, and it could also be cannabigerolic, but I think it's bigerolic. Cannabigerolic acid, CBGA. We'll come back with more trending stories from the Gleaner before we take your calls in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
At Royal Medical Hospital, Clinic and Imaging Center. Their highly skilled team is equipped to provide quality health care at an affordable price. General surgery, orthopedics, dermatology, general radiology, maternity care and delivery care, urology, and more. 10 Lewis Street, Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. 876-955-3154. Royal Medical Clinic and Hospital, providing quality health care at an affordable price. Jamaicans at home and abroad, it's now here. The Jamaica Customs Agency's first podcast series, Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. under the theme JCA, Embracing Digital Transformation and Building a Data Ecosystem. Log on to the Jamaica Customs Agency and Cleaner YouTube channels for real, relevant, and accurate information right at your fingertips. That's Real Talk with Customs, Wednesday, February 9, 2022 at 10 a.m. We keep the talk real. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus. The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelly and McLagger.
Nice, Rich.
Get
What's
news
up?
and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out
All right,
about
I'll look
the
out for
various
it. I'll check
stakeholders
it.
in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to
All right.
motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop
Sure, I'll
shop
check
for
it.
everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelly and McLaggen. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. There's a story of someone called Ritical, whose real name is Ryan McFarlane, who has been freed of gun charges. He had been charged with illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. He was freed in the gun court in Kingston after the judge upheld submissions by attorney Abel Don Foote that there were discrepancies in the prosecution's case. McFarlane had testified in his defense that he was not in possession of the firearm or ammunition. He also said the vehicle he was driving was a rental and that other people had access to it. It was alleged that on January 28 last year, the police were on patrol in 8 Miles Bull Bay, St. Andrew, when McFarlane was seen acting in a suspicious manner. The police searched his car and found a firearm with ammunition. He was arrested and charged. So you see how these cases turn? Not just speaking in general terms now. As we always say, it's not about love, this justice, it's not about love, it's not about hate, it's not about war, it's not about peace, it's not about honesty, it's not about trust, it's not about truth, it's not about integrity. It's about proving beyond a reasonable doubt. It perhaps is not even about justice. It's about proving beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is innocent or otherwise. And once there is doubt, anything is possible, including everything. So the judge says there were discrepancies in the prosecution's case. Like we keep repeating on this program, we don't have kangaroo courts in Jamaica. And Jamaica is not a banana republic. So that's another of the stories trending. Here's another one. All right, I tell you what, we're going to leave it there for now. I think Cuban in Georgia has been trying to get in a word. So let's go to the WhatsApp number, same as the text line, 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sir Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
And thanks for taking my call. And how are you doing and your family?
We're doing well, thanks. And we wish the same for you and yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm calling today about cricket. I'm in the sporting arena today. I'm calling for a beach for Sabina Park for the cricketers. When they play cricket, they can go to. They say they don't want to go to Hellshire Beach because they say it's too far. So I'm calling for a beach to be developed in Harborview or somewhere around the airport where we got sea. Create a white sand beach for the cricketers so they can relax themselves after playing a hard day's game.
It would only be the cricketers deserving of such special treatment.
No, not the cricketers alone, but our citizens gonna enjoy the benefit of these beaches around Harborview and around the airport or Port Royal way there. It's closer than Hellshire. Because I get to understand that is one of the reasons why the England team, the Australian team, all of these teams don't want to come to Jamaica.
No. I don't know who is feeding you that information. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. The presence or absence of a beach, the presence or absence of a beach is not a basis on which cricketers determine where and when they go to play cricket. There's a system worked out by the International Cricket Council, the ICC, which makes a determination with respect to test series, when the one-day internationals or the T20s can be scheduled. It has absolutely nothing to do with the terrain or territory or landscape. Nothing to do with that. It's all about cricket.
Well, I heard from good sources.
Well, you know something. We hear a lot of things. All of us, we hear a lot of things every day. Doesn't necessarily make them so. We're not because somebody says something is necessarily mean that something is in fact so.
No, Sir Malcolm. If people are complaining about a certain issue,
who are the people complaining? And where's the evidence of that complaint?
The West Indies cricketers and the cricketers from England and Australia say they don't want to come to Jamaica because when they come to Sabina Park, they don't have no
and
beach.
They called you and told you that? They called you and told you that? The West Indies cricketers and the Australian cricketers and the England cricketers, they called you and told you that you should tell the government to set up a beach nearby, and that will encourage them to come to Jamaica to play cricket. What are you talking about?
The England team carries 6,000 spectators with them everywhere they go. And we are not benefiting from these games.
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? The Barmy Army, as they call them, the Barmy Army, rain or shine, snow or sleet, Sri Lanka or Jamaica, does not, they do, nothing stops them from following the team. That's how committed they are. Rain or shine, snow or sleet, Sri Lanka or Jamaica, the Barmy Army is still going to travel. And the English people are still going to travel because they love cricket. They're traveling for the cricket. They're doing it for the cricket. Yes, they also enjoy the ambience and the environment of the respective countries they visit. But I don't know why are you creating a problem where there is none?
There is a problem, Sir Malcolm. Sabina Park is close to the shoreline of Kingston. And we don't have a beach for them to go to relax after a hard day's game.
All right. Well, we suggest that you write to the Prime Minister and insist that a beach be set up forthwith so that the England cricketers and Australian cricketers can come and enjoy the beach. That's what we would suggest.
Well, I'm not gonna, you listen, Minister need, or whosoever around him. I don't know who's advising him or what, but these are bad policies. These things should be set up for the sporting. Where is it? The sporting arena for our runners? For Usain Bolt, a stadium and all these things.
What are you talking about? I really think you need to stop while you're ahead. Quit while you're ahead. Do you know where Usain Bolt normally trains? Do you know where he trains? Do you know where the athletes from MVP train and the athletes from at UE, etc., and our other athletes? Oh, come on. All right, never mind. What's the next subject?
We need to. All right, the next subject, Sir Malcolm. I need to talk to the over there in Portmore, the situation in Portmore. The government is rushing ahead, is pushing the cart before the horse here, not implementing no form of infrastructure development before they declare Portmore a parish and want to cut a red ribbon for the parish. And this is 2020, 2022, and we are not taking this from this colonial government. I don't know where this idea come from, that they can come up in 2022 and create a parish, new parish, and talk about infrastructure is coming afterward parish is named. Nonsense. Right? And these are the things that we need to hold Mr. Terrelong and the man over there talking nonsense about there is no amenities before the parish stations can be created. What kind of foolishness are these people? Which college they went to, sir?
Well, if you want to take it to its most its most granular position, back when Jamaica was divided by what's his name now? His role, he was the first who set about dividing Jamaica into parishes and counties. I don't know why his name is escaping me right now. He did not check if there were hospitals or schools or infrastructure that was sufficient. They just went ahead and divided the country into parishes and counties.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if you're going to argue along those lines, I'm just saying. And remember as well that over time, parishes, because at one stage, for example, we had the parish of St. George and which is now Portland, and in St. Catherine we had St. Dorothy, and so on and so forth. And over time, these places evolved from two parishes to one, or otherwise. In 1923, for example, Kingston and St. Andrew were merged administratively. So I'm just saying, if that's the only basis on which you're arguing, my position is.
This is a weak basis the government is standing on, and it's unjustified. There is no justification of their argument for saying we don't need no infrastructure to call Portmore a parish. This is wrong, and the government is going on the wrong trajectory on this one.
All right, so what kind of change has taken place in Portmore as a municipality before it was designated a municipality? What's the difference? What happened between just Portmore and Portmore, the municipality? One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
It continues to be all smiles at Wellington Dental. We offer dental care for the entire family, including cleaning, filling, whitening, and other dental services. There's wheelchair access and an exciting play area for the children. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Telephone 876-984-5482 or 876-749-3515.
Get Get ready for Rock Steady. Get ready for the music of legends. The Saturday Fame Frequency takes you through the years with the classic eras from Rock Steady to the 80s with music mixed by the Captain Colin Hines and DJ Denbo from Fame 95 FM and the debutant from Hits 92 FM, Troy McLean. That's Fame Frequency, the classic eras of reggae, 9 p.m. to midnight. Join your host, Nisha Yan, in our VIP Zoom Watch Yourself area and live on Fame 95 FM, Hits 92 FM, Radio Jamaica 94 FM, and RETV, or online at onespotmedia.com and on the Fame Frequency Mixed Cloud channel. Fame Frequency Reggae Month Reggae Salute is sponsored by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly. By Grace Tropical Rhythm. Join the rhythm and by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport.
I'm a progressive man and I represent people. I'm a truthful man and I love truthful people. I'm a honest man and I love honest people. I've learned some lessons in my life. Lessons in my life. Always be careful, oh my friends. Be careful, oh my friends. Money can make friendship end. It makes friendship end.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Yes. And so where have the advocates been? Those who really feel strongly about the need for Portmore to have a hospital, for Portmore to have a market and some other amenities. Right. So I'm asking, where did the advocates and the agitators for these? That's what I was about to ask. Is it that everybody was sleeping and now have been jolted out of their sleep by this move to make Portmore a parish, which was first announced by former Prime Minister Bruce Golding, I believe, at a political meeting in Portmore, might have been at Portmore Heart Academy, somewhere over there, that this announcement was made that Portmore was to be made the 15th parish. This was years ago. This was like maybe about 12 years ago. So no sound from anybody until now. What's happening?
Yes, I heard Dr. Weekly and Mr. Terrelong. They've been pushing the argument, saying that to create a new parish, we don't need amenities. I'm like, what kind of rubbish is coming from these people? This is 2022, Sir Malcolm, right? And they're coming with this rubbish argument. We're not taking it from them. We need a hospital, fire station, police station, schools, the road to be fixed, the sidewalks, everything to be water, light, infrastructure, telecommunications, all of these things to be put in place before you declare a parish.
No, but be careful what you're saying, because infrastructure is in place. Portmore is a population of just under 300,000 people, and quite a number of housing developments. They have a bus system. They have buses that run to and from Portmore to other parts of the country. They have telecommunications like the rest of us elsewhere in the country. They have electricity like the rest of us. They have water like the rest of us. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
When it come on to the summertime, nobody in Portmore can get no water in their pipes.
That's an overstatement. That's an
Well,
overstatement. Let's just place it on record that there is there is there is always room for improvement. We can always do better. We can always be better. There can always be more. But what I'm saying, let us not create a situation that things are worse than they actually are, because that wouldn't be an accurate picture. I challenge you, you're on your next trip to Jamaica, to make Portmore your first place of visit and drive around Portmore for yourself and talk to the people yourself.
well, I want to see a cruise ship pier in Portmore. That Portmore of them one cruise ship pier that the ship come and dock up and the tourists come up and visit all the places. These are
What are they going to
that I'm
visit?
talking about, Sir Malcolm.
What are they going to visit in Portmore?
They visit what you call it, the dunes and whatever you call it, whatever, the beaches and all those things to see, you know what I mean? Because it's creative sightseeing, you know what I mean?
I'm listening.
Yes, sightseeing is a very part of our development. So if we see it's seen as a part of us being a human being. You know?
Well, we have the Two Sisters Cave in Portmore. There's Fort Clarence Beach. There's Helsha. There's Rodney's Lookout. There is Fort Augusta, which has a very rich history. Apart from all the war armory and ammunition that used to be stored over there, it was also the site for the most expensive movie filmed in the entire world.
Wow.
Yeah, it was filmed at Fort Augusta. So all those sites would have to be developed along those lines.
Yeah, we have to develop those places. And Jam World too, Sir Malcolm. Remember Jam World?
Yeah, around that side they now have a fish market near there, which the
Well,
police.
we need Jam World to be developed into an entertainment venue for reggae music. This is Black History Month. Where is the Black History? Where is the reggae artistry around the country to show that this is what reggae music have provided for Jamaica? There is nothing. I know you have some in Churchtown and all about the place, but we need a new kind of thinking to all these things, Sir Malcolm. You know what I mean? A new reggae venue for all kind of we got reggae music bands playing on Mondays and Tuesdays, dancehall and Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then we have disco on Saturdays and Sundays. You know what I mean? These are the things we want to create in Portmore to make people feel alive and know that they're working towards the country and contributing their taxes to the development of Jamaica. And next thing again before I go, Sir Malcolm, the crime situation is a very serious problem, but I see where the commissioner is bringing it down now. So, you know, I'm not hitting him so hard on the crime, but we need to find a way that we can get these young people into heart and into agriculture and into all of these kind of productive sector and contributing back to the Jamaican economy. Because let the whole of we left it up as your co-host, your former co-host said. What happened? We can't let it up.
Well, apparently the people of Portmore have. And then we're not even hearing from the usual associations. Whatever happened to these Portmore citizens associations? We're hearing from the politicians and one or two other voices. But one would have to take it. But how should we read the silence of the people of Portmore? Are they totally satisfied with things as they are, or are they demonstrating a level of apathy and disinterest in the affairs of their municipality?
When they said that they were to pay tax, they were to pay toll on the bridge, the first bridge where them tear down to go to Portmore. And what uproar come out of Portmore about the toll on the bridge, Sir Malcolm? Where are those people, sir?
You'd have to ask the people of Portmore.
Yes, to pay tax, to pay toll on the bridge. I remember that. I cannot forget it. To pay toll on the bridge to go over to Portmore. And there was an uproar from the Citizens Association, all of the members of the community association in Portmore about this matter. So what are they saying about this? This is a serious matter towards their lives.
Well, obviously, if they thought of it the way you're thinking about it, we would have been hearing from them. So we can only speculate as to what is the thinking and how to read the silence, that is the deafening silence coming out of Portmore.
Yes, it's a deafening silence, and we need the people to step up and start to talk out more, because we cannot sit down. If you're gonna, some of them sitting down and wait till Jesus come from heaven. Jesus is not coming from heaven. You have to get up and help yourself. You got to do what you got to do to move forward, Sir Malcolm.
All right, we are going to do just that now. We're going to move forward. Thank you very much for the call.
All right, God bless.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Faye Weller. Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you too. Nigel McCrae, good afternoon. On a rainy, what do you have here? Rainy NY, is that rainy New York? Stay dry, Nigel McCrae. Sharon Richards says, blessed love, Sir Malcolm. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for opening our knowledge about Ash Wednesday. Happy to oblige, Sharon Richards. Sophia Davis Fagan says, that's a sad situation. Not sure which one of them, but thank you for your message, Sophia. David Allen says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. On the 17th of last month after 10 p.m., I wrote you on Facebook asking for your advice and assistance in starting a non-profit organization, but you ignored my message. Can you tell me why? Well, you have jumped to a conclusion, which is why I say to people all the time, we have a thing in Jamaica. I don't know if it's a Jamaican thing. Somebody's calling you and they don't get you. When they eventually get you or they're talking to you in person, they say, may I call you? I nah, answer your phone. Now, to take that position is to suggest that the person you're trying to reach is deliberately and in a calculated way ignoring your call or your message. And you give no consideration to the fact, especially in this case, for you, David Allen, that there are those of us who are bombarded with multiple messages over a period of time. And we don't always get around to clearing every single message. A little reminder every now and then never hurts, just to say, hi again, I messaged you X time, etc. We live in an age now where there is data coming in constantly. So David Allen, I don't ignore anyone. I'm not sure how many people on radio right now. How many people on radio right now, David Allen, you can, if I were to ask you for their numbers, you would be able to give me. I strongly doubt that you'll be able to give me one, because I give my number out on the radio every single day of work, every single day of work. If I really didn't want to talk to people like you, would I do that? One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
Cause I'm an humble man. I love humble people. I'm a progressive man and I love progressive people. I'm a truthful man and I love truthful people. I'm an honest man.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
I hope I find you reasonably well.
Any day above ground is a good day. We continue to give thanks for life.
Thank you so much, Dervan. Good afternoon to your listeners. Let me first of all graciously and respectfully offer my best wishes to you and your wife on your eminent anniversary, and concomitantly wish you both God's immense blessings and continued successes in the years to come. I would like to discuss with you two issues here this afternoon. Let me sincerely and respectfully congratulate and commend the community for the upliftment of the mentally ill Kumi that is based in Montego Bay, led by the indefatigable nurse Joy Crooks, ODJP, for the inherently outstanding, excellent, and very commendable work that they have been doing in Montego Bay, spanning close to 3 decades to date, which is professionally taking care to the best of their ability the mentally ill, the street persons, and drug addicted persons within the city of Montego Bay, especially those who reside on the streets of Montego Bay. Quite unfortunately, they currently operate in night shelter, which allow persons from the street who would want to take that facility to be their night shelter. It's operated 7 days per week. They operate from donations that they receive both here in Jamaica and from overseas. And they also provide medication for the mentally ill persons to whom they take care of in Montego Bay. But the problem that they are experiencing, based on what I have read in the newspapers over time, that they are in need of much more financial resources. And I am publicly urging the hardworking Minister of Health, Dr. Christopherson, to consider approving a yearly allocation to Kumi via government funding, so as to allow Kumi to better manage and take care of the group of persons to which they have to attend to each day here in Montego Bay. Based on estimates, there are approximately close to 50 persons living on the streets of Montego Bay. And I think it's also imperative that the mayor, Leroy Williams, see how best the municipal corporation can assist in some funding as well to Kumi, or even seek to donate maybe an equipped ambulance to Kumi, which is so desperately needed at this time. I recall that during the tenure of the late former mayor of Montego Bay, Arthur Gilchrist, he at that time gave resources from the parish council to assist nurse cooks and Kumi at that time. But ever since his tenure expired, very little help has come from the then parish council and now from the St. James Municipal Corporation. So I'm hoping that Mayor Williams will see how best he can give them some help. I heard as well a consultant psychiatrist stating that according to his estimate of number of persons living on the streets of Jamaica, approximately 3,400 persons, based on his estimate. It would seem to me, Dervan, that the issue of street persons has not been given much attention by past administrations, and including this one as well. And what is required is some form of national policy to be tabulated, to be funded, and to be implemented to see how best, from a governmental standpoint, these people can get some attention. The fact of the matter is that by and large, the Jamaican people are not very concerned about these persons who live on the streets, especially persons who have drug addiction problems. The PATH program, I think, could possibly assist much better if it was expanded. I think the figure that I heard was some 360 persons are currently enrolled on the program. But based on the expansive need right across Jamaica, the unemployed, the single parents, the elderly, and the sick, I think that the government should really consider expanding this specific program. And there is the need, I think, for here in Montego Bay for a halfway house to be established so that persons who are recovering from drug addiction problems would have this government-funded facility to recover after a medical program to which they have gone through. The other issue which I'd like to briefly discuss with you, Dervan, has to do with the Maroon. Your colleague, Ian Jackson Miller, has so far presented two Television Jamaica all angles programs focusing on the Maroon. Two Maroon colonels recently attended a meeting at Jamaica House with the Most Honorable Prime Minister to discuss relevant issues having to do with their respective Maroon communities, to which Colonel Curry or Chief Curry was excluded from that meeting by the Prime Minister. If it is that the outspoken Chief Curry from the Accompong Maroons has offended the Prime Minister in any way, shape, or form by any comments, whether on social media or otherwise, then I think that he has a profound duty and responsibility to publicly apologize to the Prime Minister if that is so. Now, according to one of the colonels who attended that first Prime Ministerial meeting, another meeting is due to be held in short order, according to one of those colonels. And I think it's very important that Chief Curry be invited to the second meeting with the Prime Minister. Wouldn't you concur with that, Dervan?
Well, these are big people, as I like to say. I can understand when children, they can be quite anal when they're ready. The children, they'll tell you that them not take your lick, and they'll pick up their marbles and whatever else, and they will be ruled by their egos. I can understand children, but I expect more from adults as far as man's biggest problem is concerned. As we like to say on this program, man's biggest problem is a 3-letter word, EGO. And if we can just move those out of the way, we can actually get more work done. And the key thing is, I don't have to like you. You don't have to like me. I don't have to support your party. You don't have to support my party. I don't have to go to your church. You don't have to come to my church. But if there is work to be done that requires all of us or each of us, let us focus on the work. Let us focus on the job at hand and deal with that. All other things are trivial and should be treated as such.
No, you're absolutely spot on. Now, extrapolating from Chief Curry's various comments regarding the sovereignty of the Maroons and their lands, it is my understanding that he is not saying that the Accompong area, the Accompong land, is a legally separated state apart from Jamaica and not subjected to the laws of Jamaica. I think what I understand him to say is that those lands are owned by the Maroons and they have their own leadership structures in place led by an elected colonel and other officers. Those lands that they live on are not government lands, they say. I am hoping that because it was...
All right, I'm so sorry to interject, but we have a scheduled interview. Today is World Cancer Day, and we have a scheduled interview coming up now. If you'd like, you could leave your contact details off air. We'll be happy to call you back after this scheduled interview.
I would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Importers, provide proper invoices for customs when presenting goods for examination. This could prevent delays during clearance. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. OneSmartMedia.com.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Always be careful, oh my friends. Be careful, oh my friends.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. Today, the 4th of February, is World Cancer Day. Globally, it's a day to especially spread the message of cancer prevention and management. Here in Jamaica, cancer is a serious public health burden. And this is the topic we're going to be discussing now. We have joining us Dr. Kathy Ann Williams, Non-Communicable Disease Risk Factor Program Development Officer in the Non-Communicable Disease and Injury Prevention Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as we discuss cancer, cancer prevention, and management. Dr. Kathy Ann Williams, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, the subject notwithstanding. I mean, so many of us are terrified just to hear the word or to,
Hear the word cancer.
yes, to the point where these days we only talk about the big C or something like that.
Right, and I know we have COVID, so we have to distinguish.
There you go. And that also has implications
Yeah, definitely.
of another nature. So then let's start at the beginning. There are all kinds of cancer. So there's no one thing that we define as cancer, is there? Or is it this thing that infects or otherwise develops in a part of the body that becomes cancerous? Can you just explain it as simply as you can for us, please?
Sure. Cancer in its truest sense is abnormal cells growing within a tissue in an uncontrolled manner, and thus there's a propensity for these cells to spread to nearby tissues and organs. So cancer can essentially occur in any part of the body, and it's that uncontrolled growth that is the problem. You can have breast cancer, prostate cancer, skin cancer, anywhere that has cells, which is everywhere in the body, a cancer can potentially develop. And there are a number of risk factors, which we probably go into a little bit further.
Sure.
Some are specific to special cancers, and some are just risk factors across the board. And so we want to screen for those. We want to see if we have a history of these cancers in our family, that we can be prepared to screen and to have an early diagnosis if possible, so that early treatment can be started, and that will definitely have a good impact on outcome in most cases.
Let's contextualize cancer in Jamaica. How big a problem is cancer in Jamaica?
Cancer is one of the leading causes of death from disease in Jamaica. We have a national cancer registry in which we put data on cancer. So when you look at the non-communicable diseases, among those is cancer, and cancer is indeed a problem. Our top cancers are overall there's prostate cancer, number one, and we have breast cancer as well, particularly among our women, who a small percentage of men do get breast cancer. And then we have filling out that number colorectal cancer, lung cancer, and uterine or womb cancer. It is an issue, and we push for screening, early diagnosis, and the risk factors that are modifiable, things that we can change: diet, tobacco use, not using tobacco, not having excessive use of alcohol. We try to look to those as risk factors as preventative methods for the development of cancer, preventing the development of cancer.
Mm-hmm. And you've been listing some of these cancers. Looking again at the Jamaican situation, what are the ones that affect Jamaicans the most?
Okay, so definitely in that order: prostate cancer or men, the prostate gland; breast cancer for our women; colorectal cancer, both genders, both of us have colons and rectums; and we have, rounding that out, lung cancer, both sexes as well, and uterine cancer or womb cancer among our women.
All right, let's come to the risk factors now. Is cancer hereditary? Can it be passed on from family member to family member, in a sense, generational, or is it more than that? Do we need to go ahead and tell us, please?
Sure. There are a number of factors, risk factors. Some are modifiable things that we can control. In some cases, for example, we look at lung cancer and we look at tobacco use. There's a strong association there. Other things we can't control. Age is a risk factor for cancer. When you look at it, the older you get, you have an increased risk of cancer. We can't control that. Genetics are also a risk factor that we bear in mind as well. We can't control our genes. And separate from that is a family history. So some cancers do run in families. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, for example. We look at the general risk factors for non-communicable diseases in general, and non-communicable diseases are diseases that can't spread from one person to the other, like, for example, COVID-19.
Yes.
That's a communicable disease.
Right.
But non-communicable diseases tend to be chronic in their course. They last for a very long time. And so things like diabetes, hypertension, etc., and of course the cancers. So we look towards prevention from the point of view of controlling the risk factors that we can control. So we have a healthy diet, and you'll see more information on that on our website. Healthy diet, exercise, drinking a lot of water, looking at our processed foods, ensuring that we don't have too many processed foods. And there are links to each of these risk factors, links between these risk factors and the specific cancers.
Sorry, go ahead.
So that's the thing. We're trying to change the mindset in Jamaica of just going to the doctor because we feel sick, and we want to take an approach of wellness and screening before something comes up. We know we have a family history of prostate cancer, for example, so we know that at age 40, for example, we're doing our screening for prostate cancer, or women are doing our mammogram starting at age 40, for example. And we have a recommended guidelines in place to guide the people of Jamaica on when we should start our screenings, that we can know. Knowing is the answer. And as I said, prevention is better than cure. And in the cases that we can't prevent, early diagnosis speaks to a better outcome for persons who do have a diagnosis of cancer.
Let's talk about symptoms now. What do we look for? How do we know what to look for? Some early signs, in instances where there are early signs, some early signs that we should pay attention to, or we should check out, even if it turns out that it's not cancer.
Sure. I'm saying this very cautiously because we do know that there are some symptoms that overlap with diseases. So I can just say in general, when we look at persons who might have had cancer, some persons have no symptoms at all. Some persons have general symptoms like unexplained weight loss, fatigue, etc. And then, of course, when you go to the specific cancers, for example, when you look at something like colorectal cancer, for example, you may notice blood in the stool. For breast cancer, of course, someone may notice a lump or pain to the breast in general, or pain to the nipple. They may notice a change in how the nipple looks, a change in the skin of the breast, for example. And what I would just say in general is that we look at the screening guidelines in general, but we're not having any symptoms. We know the ages at which we start screening. We know our family history as well. That's important because in some cases, for example, for breast cancer, screening may start earlier than the age 40 for the general population.
Oh.
And then if we do indeed have those symptoms, a lump or pain or unexplained weight loss, and also we go to the doctor immediately, a doctor that we trust, to discuss our symptoms, and we can be checked up accordingly.
And I gather there's a special live TV broadcast tonight on the subject of cancer. Tell us about it, please.
So, yes, at 9:30 tonight on Television Jamaica, we will have a special program for World Cancer Day, and it is all your questions being answered about cancer. It will be hosted by Dr. Sarah Lawrence Lewis, an obstetrician and gynecologist, and we'll have specialists in surgery and in hematology, etc., and cancer, answering all the questions, hopefully all the questions that are submitted. And we'll talk about screening. We'll highlight the caregiver. Our theme this year is closing the care gap and realizing the problem. We want to highlight our caregivers who take care of our cancer patients, family as well as healthcare workers. And we also want to highlight the bravery of our cancer survivors. So tonight at 9:30 p.m. TVJ, all your questions answered about cancer.
And for the benefit of those of us who would like to, perhaps in our own time, read some more about cancer here in Jamaica and just the general things that they need to know, where can they turn to?
Sure. Our website is NCD, that's N as in no, CDIP.MOH, that's Ministry of Health, .gov, as in government, .jm. Again, ncdip.moh.gov.jm. And there you will find information on all the non-communicable diseases, including cancer, recommendations for screening, some information, a little bit of information about treatment as well, and the things that you should know about cancer, symptoms, signs, etc. So quite a bit of information there for our population so that we can be healthy and we can also be well.
And how pervasive is the celebration of Cancer Day? Is it truly a world? I'm not. Maybe I shouldn't use the word celebration. Well, it depends on how you look at it. But in terms of the focus on cancer, is the world really plugged in on a day like today?
Absolutely. It's the whole campaign, Close the Care Gap. It's a 3-year campaign in this instance. This year's focus of 2022 is realizing the problem. So we want to look at where are there gaps in the treatment of cancer in our countries. It's an issue of access, and these are some of the things that we're addressing as the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Do persons have access to the care? We have our centers of excellence in Kingston and Mobay, for example. And across the island, not just the Ministry of Health, within our parishes as well, the non-communicable disease teams are doing some commemoration of the day. So we have in Montego Bay, there's a Cornell Regional Hospital Cancer Support Group. They had their workout this morning. They do a lot of exercise. In the Northeast region, there would have been a symposium as well. And all our parishes are really taking part in this awareness around cancer, and more so the importance of screening and prevention of cancer.
Just a moment, a little more of your time, if you don't mind, please. as we take a break right here on both sides of the story. It's World Cancer Day.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. For hard-to-get parts, call us first. Gold Plus Auto Supplies and Accessories offers low prices on Japanese spare parts, Toyota, Nissan, and much more. Visit our branches at Graceville, Savannah Lamar, McCarthy Street, Montego Bay, and Main Street, Santa Cruz. At Gold Plus, we have your parts. Call 876-955-3052. That's 876-955-3052.
Tom, Dick, Harry, or Abby. Come out! You may have passed one subject or no subject. Pick up yourself, man. Brush yourself off and go back to school. Get up. No need to be depressed. The Ligani School is offering refresher courses to you with or without CXC subjects. They're registering right now. Give yourself a fresh start. Call the Ligani School at 876-924-3244 or visit YWCA 51 Arnold Road, Kingston 5 for registration. Consumer Talks, educating and empowering consumers towards a more vigilant and confident consumer-friendly Jamaica. Join us every second and last Tuesday of each month at 9:35 on Real Business. Listen and learn about your rights and responsibilities. Learn how the CAC works to empower consumers in Jamaica. Consumer Talks, brought to you by the Consumer Affairs Commission, protecting your rights, securing our future.
It is World Cancer Day. This is both sides of the story on Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're learning a lot from Dr. Kathy Ann Williams, Non-Communicable Disease Risk Factor Program Development Officer in the Non-Communicable Disease and Injury Prevention Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. There's for those, this is a teaser for some of you listening to us, because you're going to get much more at 9:30 tonight on TVJ, a live discussion on cancer. So you can prepare yourselves for that, and you could perhaps sit as a family and watch and listen and learn. And I suspect in this day and age of technology, there might be some interaction with the audience as well with respect to maybe messages online. Dr. Williams, are you aware of that?
Sure, Mr. Malcolm. What we would have done is send out an opportunity for persons to share the questions that they wanted to have asked.
Oh.
So that would have been sent through our social media posts. The persons would have submitted questions accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
But sure, I'm sure if persons have questions thereafter, an arrangement can be made, even if it's just phoning in to the station to have those needs addressed.
Very good. What is the general hope of the peoples of the world when it comes to marking World Cancer Day? What's the hope in marking such a day?
We want to, first and foremost, prevent the death associated with the cancer, and that is through screening and early diagnosis and prevention where we can. It's a global public health issue. It's associated with a lot of pain for the patients as well as for their families and friends. And it's costly, it's costly globally. So our hope is that the incidence and the deaths associated with cancer will be reduced as we increase screening and increase public awareness around the issue of cancer.
The theme, as you've repeated a couple of times, close the care gap, realizing the problem.
Yes.
How wide is the care gap in Jamaica based on the data?
Okay. I won't say it in numbers, Mr. Malcolm, but I can say it in terms of categories.
Yes.
But I'll start with the positive. Screening is available in all of our facilities. It will vary in terms of the how, and we do utilize our public facilities. Sometimes we have to lean on our private facilities. We look at things like the mammogram, which is a screening modality for breast cancer. And we see wherein we lean a lot on the private sector in that regard, in terms of mammogram screening, and that's something that we're working on for the availability of mammograms, more so in the public sector. So to answer the question, I believe a lot of the gap is in access. In some cases, access. Here we have our centers of excellence in Kingston and Montego Bay. There's always room for more, but we do have screening and treatment modalities available in Jamaica. The recommended screening and treatment modalities that are available, there's always room for more. And what we have been doing is working along with international, regional, and national partners to realize these goals in closing the gap. Of course, we speak to the field level as well to keep abreast of the gaps that are available and when they're closed as well. And we just keep that conversation going to try and address them as quickly and as soon as possible.
And what would be, having said all that you've said so far, how have you set about marking World Cancer Day here in Jamaica so far? We know the big event tonight, 9:30 TVJ, national discussion. But that aside, what are some of the other ways in which you've been zeroing in on the big C, especially at a time when we're contending with another big C, that is COVID-19? When we, our movements are restricted, gathering, etc., how have you been able to sensitize the Jamaican population so far? Because we know there's more to come at 9:30 tonight on TVJ, but so far, and in what areas in terms of focus?
Absolutely. So here at the Ministry of Health, you know that we always like to lead out by our director lending their voices to the cause. So the Honorable Minister of Health and Wellness would have had his official message in print media. We would also have messages from the Director of the Health Promotion and Protection Branch within the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as well as representatives from the regional health authorities to commemorate World Cancer Day and to encourage this theme that we are working with closing the care gap and realizing the problem, and highlighting, in addition, our caregivers through feature stories in print media, or cancer survivors, or brave cancer survivors in print media as well through feature stories. We'll continue with our interviews to share information around cancer and cancer care, and you will see information as well on screening. You should see a publication today as well on screening and the frequency of screening and the recommended screening guidelines. And then on our social media platforms, you will see a number of messages around the cancer in general and specific cancers as well.
Mm-hmm. And you've been referencing two, what you call them, centers of excellence?
Excellence, yes. Those are the St. Joseph's Hospital in Kingston so far, and the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James. And they provide top-notch treatment for individuals with cancer, including radiation therapy. Or public hospitals in general do offer chemotherapy and other treatment modalities. And but we highlight the centers of excellence for cancer in those areas for the access that they give to cancer patients as well. And we will continue to provide treatment through all of these facilities.
Right. So as we recap, just if you'll just help our listeners, and in particular those who are perhaps tuning in for the first time since we've been having this conversation focused on World Cancer Day, some key points. Can you leave with us some key points that we need to be mindful of, not just for the rest of today, World Cancer Day, but for the rest of our lives, please?
Sure, absolutely, Mr. Malcolm. Thank you. Cancer is a condition in which cells grow abnormally. It can affect any individual at any age, and so we need to be aware of the risk factors for cancer, the ones that we can control. We want to eat healthy, ensure that we exercise. We want to know our family history as well, so it can guide us in screening. We want to have our regular checkups with our doctors, so that even before we have issues, we are aware of our health status. Cancer does affect Jamaica. It is an issue. We recommend screening for the early detection of cancer. And we just encourage you to just make yourself aware of the information around the cancer. Visit our website again, ncdip.moh.gov.jm, and tune in tonight at 9:30 to TVJ to have your questions about cancer answered by our specialist.
And we don't want to give away too much. We want people to watch at 9:30, but we have to give out information anyway. The last thing we'll ask you before we release you, Dr. Williams, is about cancer and COVID-19. What do we know as of today, World Cancer Day, where those two C's are concerned?
Sure. So you hear the news a lot about immunocompromised individuals or persons whose immune systems are affected. And these are persons, for example, with cancer, lupus, for example, or persons on medication that reduces their immune system, which fights infection. So we have cancer patients who may be on treatment, for example, chemotherapy, that affects the immune system in its effort to fight cancer. And we know that these persons are at increased risk of contracting infection, including COVID-19. So we want to be careful and ensure that we maintain infection prevention and control measures. So we practice our social distancing, we wear our masks, we ensure that we are vaccinated and on time with our vaccination. And so for the persons as well who are around individuals with cancer, we want to ensure that we maintain those protocols as well. So we wear masks around those patients, we social distance, and we ensure that we're not increasing their risk of contracting COVID-19.
And we've heard of certain people being exempt from taking the vaccine for health-related issues. Does cancer fall into that category?
Sure. Well, it depends from patient to patient. So once someone falls into that category of being immunocompromised or immunosuppressed, for example, a cancer survivor, we want to ensure that the discussion is had with our doctor to weigh up, I wouldn't say the pros and cons, but to ensure that a person is well informed and suitable for receiving the vaccination at that point in time, maybe not right now, but maybe a little bit later down, they can be cleared by their doctor for that vaccination. So a good relationship with your doctor, to have that conversation, get all the information around COVID-19 vaccination, and your doctor can work with you to make that decision about your readiness for the vaccine.
We certainly have learned a lot from this discussion this afternoon, Dr. Williams. We want to thank you and your team, your colleagues, your partners for the work that you continue to do in the fight against cancer. As we go, just remind us, please, how we can follow the information, for example, that comes out of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, in particular for those of us who want to, in our own time, read up on cancer and related matters.
Sure. If you just type in Ministry of Health and Wellness in general in Google or any of those search platforms, you'll go straight to the Ministry of Health official website. But for the non-communicable disease and injury prevention unit webpage, it is ncdip.moh.gov.jm, and you'll get that information on non-communicable diseases, injuries, and cancer.
And I'll just add as we wrap, finally, listeners, remember, make sure you get out your popcorn and so on and get comfortable and get ready to learn more about cancer this evening, tonight at 9:30 on TVJ. And it's all a courtesy of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And of course, National Health Fund is on board. And more precisely, the Non-Communicable Disease and Injury Prevention Unit, which has been represented this afternoon here on both sides of the story by Dr. Kathy Ann Williams. Thank you so much, Dr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Malcolm.
All the best.
Thank you.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock. The National Irrigation Commission Limited encourages efficient irrigation practices and responsible use of water. By doing so, we will allow the aquifer to be recharged and keep the supply flowing. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Becky is a deal hunter. She flips through the newspapers every day for great deals on products and services. Wow, I saw the same deal online.
Really? Where?
I found it on G-Commerce.
G-Commerce? What's that?
It's an online site for deals. Here, have a look.
Wow! These are deals that I have just found in the newspaper, plus others I haven't seen before.
Yeah. Yep. Best of all, you can make the purchases right here on the site and have it either picked up or delivered right to your door.
That's great. Where do I sign up?
Go to gcommerce.ja.
I don't think the last word is a part of the name.
Start clicking for the deals. gcommerceja.com, where the best deals are found.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:01. 现在几点了？4点2分. A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And it's time once again, coming up this weekend, Higher Praise, the Higher Praise Gospel Show, which is a big deal. People have come to know and love and appreciate the value of such an experience. And to tell us more, we welcome Steve Harper. Mr. Harper, how are you, sir?
I've been fine. Good evening, everyone. Yes, Steve Harper, aka Shalom.
Well, tell us about this weekend's, this Sunday's Higher Praise. What can we expect?
Wow, it's going to be awesome. Praise and worship, a time of worship and praise. It's just going to be awesome. We've been rehearsing for this, preparing ourselves to just come and just praise the Lord, just give him everything that we have,
Yes.
Yeah.
How's the lineup looking?
Lineup looking okay, Yeah, man, it's really flowing and the guys are, just ready for us to just, just get into worship and Sunday. So it's going to be an awesome time. So we're inviting everyone, to stay, before the TV. Make sure that you're on the Zoom. Make sure you're on Facebook, wherever it is. YouTube. Make sure you are there ready, prepare. Put your juice and your water and everything. Prepare yourself to dance and worship and praise God. It's going to be an awesome time, man.
Yeah. What's the Zoom link? Is that widely published? Is it on the flyer? Let's take a look here. I think
it's on the flyer.
Yes, we're seeing it. 863 5811 6439. So that's the Zoom link, and the passcode is TVJ Praise.
That's right.
Right. So what time will Higher Praise start on Sunday?
Higher Praise will be starting at 8 o'clock. No, 5
o'clock. Okay.
5 past 5. Yeah.
5:05. So
5 past 5.
Right. Yeah. And so, I guess naturally we'll be hearing from you, right, Shalom?
Yes, sir.
I see Minister Treasure is supposed to be on as well.
Yes, Minister Treasure, Dennis Rushton.
Dennis Rushton, I wonder if he'll be playing the piano with his toes.
I hope so. Sandy Isaac's will be there also. It's going to be a great time, man, of praise and worship, man. I can't wait. Last year, December, I was scheduled to be on, but, I caught the cold. I caught the bad flu without going on,
Oh.
So, the Lord is good.
Yes.
We are all right now. We're ready for this, to just come and just praise the Lord and, magnify his name, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, the champion.
Right. And for you, how where do you get the inspiration from in terms of the music that you put out?
The inspiration come from the Lord, the inspiration come from the Lord, man.
Yes.
I've been singing for quite a while now, and as I tell people, before I gave my life to the Lord, I did not know how to write, these kind of music, gospel music. I didn't know how to do that, because I used to, baby, I've got news for you, and them kind of song there, so,
yes.
But the Lord has inspired me, and been giving me songs ever since I got saved, so out of our first album that came out in titled Never Changing God, and from that, I've been just singing. I was singing with Catalyst crew at one point, but just doing what the Lord has called me to do,
yes.
At this time, putting out songs, and songs are coming out. I have an album coming very, very, very soon. A praise and worship album is coming, and singing message music, music,
Yes.
that, to touch the hearts and to change, lives of the youth, them, and, try to stop some of the violence we're going.
Yes. Are we likely to see on stage collaborations with any of you who will be ministering this afternoon? I mean, Sunday afternoon?
Well, I don't think so,
Okay.
Because I've not done any collaboration with anyone there. But the Lord can do anything,
Of course.
I put no limits on him, the I am that I am,
Yes.
and I even think so. Whatever you want, you will get it done. So
Right.
I'm just availing myself, to be used by him.
Yeah.
So whenever, or wherever, I'm ready.
Yes. All right. Well, since you're ready, send us to the next break with one of your songs, one of your favorites, a cappella.
Okay. I rise, the city wicked and my fall in I rise. Only the strong survive. Yeah, this is Shalom, and you're in tune to Power 106. Keep it locked right here.
Shalom. Thank you very much. We look forward to enjoying Higher Praise Sunday afternoon, 5:05 on TVJ on Power 106 and also on TVJ's YouTube channel. Looking forward, and we see Flo is on board as usual, and VM Group.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, we want to wish you all the very best that life has to offer. More blessings to you, and your fellow ministers of the gospel who will be on stage on Sunday. Take care.
Thank you so much, and you take care too. God bless.
Blessings to you too. Take care.
Shalom.
Shalom. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. The Zoom link for Higher Praise Gospel Show on Sunday on TVJ, Power 106, and on the YouTube channel of TVJ. There's also Zoom, as we said, 863-5811-6439, 863-5811-6439. The passcode is TVJ Praise. That's Zoom, Sunday and on TVJ and Power 106, as well as TVJ's YouTube channel on Sunday, the 6th of February, a significant day in more ways than one. And the gospel show starts at 5:05 p.m. And we look forward to it. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. This message says, Teach, I send you an article with some statistics from the police. In my mind, it does not match up with the statistics given by the commissioner a couple days ago. Help me to understand, please. That sounds like you should be on the morning program with Francois Saint-Just and Paula and Porter Jones at 7:30. So that might be a good place to take it. But seriously, though, we haven't had time to look at the data just yet. We haven't seen in mainstream media, whether the stations within this group or the other media entities, any story questioning the statistics. I'm not sure. If you have seen that, tell us. But up to this point, we are yet to see. We have received, we got a message from Crocs in Black River, who had questions with respect to the stats. And we're getting a question now from you, O'Neill, with respect to the stats. We haven't had a chance to go through the numbers just yet. But as we've said, if knowing our media in Jamaica, whatever some of us think of our media in Jamaica, if there is an error, it's going to be made public. There's no hiding in our media. Nobody's hiding anything or doing anybody any favor. Where the members of the media are serving Jamaica and Jamaicans. It doesn't make members of the media flawless, but it makes all of us accountable to the people of this country. So there's that. So we haven't had the chance, and we don't like to talk about things, especially since we lecture on the topic of public speaking, and we do those voice and speech training sessions, and we usually start by asking the students what would they regard as the first rule of public speaking, and we usually get all kinds of answers. But what we contend is that the first rule of public speaking is do not, and I repeat, do not, and I repeat, do not talk about what you do not know. First rule of public speaking, as far as I'm concerned. Do not speak about what you do not know. You're setting up yourself. You're setting up yourself for a fall at some point. Do not speak about what you don't know. It is not a crime not to know. It's not a crime. If you don't know, you don't know. But don't speak about what you do not know. So I try to stay away from just making seat of the pants comments, etc., 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 especially when it comes on to analyzing data that is presented. We want to be as careful as possible. And O'Neill says, I should say, in my mind, the article does not support the commissioner's argument that murder is trending down. Well, you know, while we are fighting, and we must get the numbers right, but while we're fighting over numbers and whether 88 guns is enough and whether we shouldn't be able to find more and so on, and while we're haggling about remuneration and all of these things, the country suffers. Whereas, here we go. We need to take a break. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. For hard-to-get parts, call us first. Gold Plus Auto Supplies and Accessories offers low prices on Japanese spare parts, Toyota, Nissan, and much more. Visit our branches at Gray Fair, Savannah, Lamar, McCarthy Street, Montego Bay, and Main Street, Santa Cruz. At Gold Plus, we have your parts. Call 876-955-3052. That's 876-955-3052. Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper.
Yes, Sipa Copper.
Sipa Copper what?
Sipa Copper Ital Jamaican Moringa tea bags. Sipa Copper Moringa, turmeric, vervine, neem, and guinea hen wheat tea bags today. Sipa Copper tea is available in supermarkets island-wide. So Sipa Copper today, you'll be happy you did. Distributed by Caramed Group Limited.
The Auto World.
It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Get news and reviews relating to vehicles and automotive technology. Learn the ins and outs of mechanical operation. Find out about the various stakeholders in the local and international automotive sectors. From auto finance to road safety to motorcycles, the Auto World is your one-stop shop for everything auto. That's the Auto World with Shelley and McLagan. Weekdays at 5:15 p.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:17. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h17. 现在几点了？4:17. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know it's a Friday, but you know what we always say. Have some fun doing the homework now so you can have some more fun this weekend. How about that? And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Clearing some more messages here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Natalie Winter says, Peter Tosh, a true legend, lesson in my life. True words for any worker in Jamaica. I have learned my lesson well. Don't even trust even your own with your business. Lessons in my life. Truly a great, great legend. Should continue, says Natalie Winter. Sir T says, well, he thinks an earlier caller was inebriated. We hope not. Jamaican View says, good afternoon. Power 106 staffers and listeners, viewers, wishing everyone a great afternoon and a great weekend. And he goes on to say there are currently 927 subscribers. Oh, he's helping us with our PR. There are currently 927 subscribers to the Dervan Malcolm YouTube platform. Spread the word, folks. 73 subscriptions needed to reach the vital 1,000 subscribers mark. Thank you very much, Jamaican View. You're very kind. An unpaid marketer. Goodness. Thank you. Delano Kemp says, hi, Dervan. I hope you're okay. You refer to you say the gentleman who was, I don't use that word loosely, you know. Let's just say the caller who was shouting at you about a beach for cricketers needs to go and better inform himself, says Delano Kemps. Delano Kemps goes on to say, it would be good for Portmore to have its own hospital, but it's not an absolute requirement for a parish status. Delano Kemp says a hospital is not an absolute requirement for a parish. Natalie Winter says, let let's get real. You can work around the issue. Betrayal is just that. You can't work with that. Oh, Natalie sounds to be in her own bubble there. Jamaican View says, surprised at the speed towards making Portmore a parish. Then local government minister Portia Simpson Miller piloted in Parliament the act making Portmore a municipality, but to date, no hospital. Jamaican View says, if Portmore becoming a parish, the Sunshine City where I grew up from age 6 to 24 before migrating to the USA, will finally have a hospital to serve the almost 300,000 residents. Ricardo says, it's a great thing to serve the Lord. Jennifer Flynn, not making out your message, Jennifer. Something about today. Ricardo, thank you very much for your message as well. Let's hop across to Facebook Live. And boy, do we have messages. Let's see if we can clear them quickly. Chuck Ray says, I am convinced some in the diaspora have some of the most ridiculous ideas. Well, ridiculous ideas are not the preserve of only members of the diaspora, but you did say some. Yes, there are some. And Chuck Ray was having difficulty keeping his eyes open earlier on in reference to an earlier caller. Golden Brown says, blessed afternoon, teach. To you too, Golden Brown. Harlem Uptown says, we need a new Jamaica, Dervan. I'm so happy Jamaicans are starting to see the lies. What lies? From whom? From where? Harlem Uptown. Please fill us in. Remember, in order to tell a lie, you must know the truth. In order to tell a lie, you must know the truth. We'll expound on that perhaps another time, but let's clear some of the other messages here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. The text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same, 876-365-3346. Guess who is 100 today? This message says, happy 100th birthday greeting to grandmother Edith Wilson in Georgia Road, Cascade, Hanover, coming from granddaughter Wendy and the children and the rest of the family. Edith Wilson, 100 not out. That's excellent going. You know, we love to use the cricketing analogy, right? So here's the thing, you're 100 not out. It means in cricketing terms, you are seeing the ball like a breadfruit. It's huge. Yes, that because you've spent some time. You've spent 100 years at the crease. That's no mean feat. That's no mean feat at all. 100 years at the crease and you're not out. So the plan is simple from here on in. You're going to retake your guard before you start the next 100, in a manner of speaking. You're going to retake your guard, and by now you should have an idea of how the pitch is playing and whether it is a bouncy pitch, whether it has a lot of grass on it, or whether it's a flat pitch, whether you're getting some spin out of it, whether the bowlers are getting, whatever the conditions, by now you have a fairly good idea. So you want to continue to play each ball on its own merit. You've got to continue to play each ball on its own merit. And if the ball is there to be driven, drive it. If the ball is there to be cut, cut it. If the ball is there to be left alone, leave it alone. You should know how true the bounce on the pitch is, whether a ball properly directed is going to go over the stumps or to rattle the stumps. And you just continue to play in the V. What's that? Mid on, mid off, long on, long off. That general General Region. And keep it going, keep going. Happy 100, Ms. Ezeth Wilson, 100 not out. And to all our other centenarians in Jamaica, we continue to wish you long life and good health. Or should we say longer life? You've already gone well beyond the 70, according to the Bible. So everything else now is brighter. More blessings. Michael Lake says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm seeking clarification about something mentioned on another station with regard to the new road traffic regulations. It is about riding bicycles half an hour before sunrise and after sunset, respectively. Is it about riding without headlights or not riding at all? From Michael in St. Anne's Bay. Michael, in St. Anne's Bay, we are in the process of arranging. We've been arranging behind the scenes an opportunity to go through the road traffic regulations, the new road traffic regulations. We're on it, and at the appropriate time, hopefully early next week. Hopefully early next week, we should be able to give you chapter and verse on that one, Michael Lake. But if you can't wait until then, feel free to message other talk shows on other stations, call other talk shows, and see if they can help you in terms of clarifying that, especially if they have already exhausted the document, if they've already gone through it. This one says, good day, Mr. Malcolm. The turning of guns, there needs to be more instructions on how to turn in the weapons if you are the one who owns the weapons. Well, over to the Ministry of National Security, over to the police commissioner and the High Command. Here is someone saying that turning in the guns, telling people to turn them in or bring them in is one thing, but there needs to be more instructions on how to turn in these weapons if the person turning in the weapons is the owner of the weapons. And another message here. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I listen to your program every day. Lovely programs always now. Always. Lovely programs always. No, I'm from Western Jamaica. I would love to see a better Jamaica, but not with these systems that are in place. One system for the rich, one for the poor, one for the police. It no look good. There's a police bar on the hip strip. The bar opens 7 days of the week. Well, you have given us the name here. We can't call the name without further and better particulars. So you say right throughout the curfew hours that bar has been operating. I have gone there for myself to see with my own eyes, police walking up and down with their guns all night so that no one can take a photo or video. And what is going to stop you from taking a photo or video? At 90% of the patrons are scammers. Then if you have this information, who have you shared it with? Have you shared it with the divisional commander? Have you shared it with Crime Stop? Have you shared it with the police commissioner? I'm just saying, you seem to have information, so why not share the information? Don't assume that the police high command is aware of that which you're sharing with us on WhatsApp. We have to become more proactive. It's one thing to message a talk show or to call a talk show on these matters. It's another thing to be a good citizen beyond just calling a talk show and sending a message to a talk show by directing the information to entities that can, in fact, take immediate action. That's what we would suggest. Let's go to the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30. It continues to be all smiles at Wellington Dental. We offer dental care for the entire family, including cleaning, filling, whitening, and other dental services. There's wheelchair access and an exciting play area for the children. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Telephone 876-984-5482 or 876-749-3515.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
Message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. And you shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:28. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5h moins 28. 现在几点了？5点28分. 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. So let's move on to some more of your messages. We're just seeing a story from the Jamaica Observer online saying, heat too hot for devil. Wanted man turns himself into cops. At least one of the 10 men listed as wanted by the police in Portmore, St. Catherine, has turned himself in. Damian Devil Henry, 21, from Burke Road, Old Harbour, handed himself over to the police yesterday. Henry, who frequents Darlaston in Westmoreland and Portmore, was being sought for a murder that occurred in 2013. And the story goes on. The story goes on. Well, let's see if there is a trend going forward. In the meantime, more of your messages here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's go to, which one shall we go to this time? This one, Lorna says, good afternoon, Uncle Dervan. I would love to get in touch with my friend, Simon Gabindon. He lives in Hanover. This is a unique looking name. Gabindon, Gabbindon. That NH. Maybe there's a typo in there somewhere. Lorna, please check that. Please check your message. Our colleague Vivette Malcolm shares with us that her mother is a breast cancer survivor and she is fully vaccinated. That's further to the discussion we had earlier on to mark World Cancer Day today. Ricardo, thank you for your greeting. Gloria, moralist, says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. It is best to know what we put in our bodies. What we put in our bodies is important. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Less fat and oils. Thank you very much, moralist, for your message on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp line, say the WhatsApp number, same as the text line, 876-365-3346. And here's a general message from the Ministry of Health. Today is World Cancer Day. Early detection saves lives. Check up, follow up, live up, get screened. For more information, visit ncdip.moh.gov.jm. This one says, oh, somebody wants us to join Clubhouse. What is that? And this one, vote now for the Appleton Estate Rum Distillery to win the USA Today's Reader's Choice Award for the best Caribbean rum distillery. Oh. And I think we're going to leave the messages there for the time being. Thank you very much for your multiple messages. We're going to take you down memory lane right now in terms of the rich history of this country. Let's go to the year 1864. Adolph Dupley died in Kingston on this day in 1864 and was buried in the churchyard of Holy Trinity Church in Kingston. Adolphe Armand Désir Dupley was born in Paris in 1801, the son of Jean-François Dupley and his wife Marie Elizabeth. Adolphe Dupley left France for Haiti, where he taught lithography before traveling on to Jamaica by way of Santiago de Cuba. Soon after arriving in Jamaica, Dupley set up his studio to become a pioneer at the photographic art, or a pioneer of the photographic art. Adolphe Dupley is best known for his 1844 set of 24 Jamaican scenes called Daguerrean Excursions in Jamaica. These pictures were lithographs on stone taken faithfully from the daguerreotype that was a precursor process of what was to become photography as we know it today. The daguerreotype was invented in 1839 in France, and Dupley was one of the first to use the process. Between 1830 and 1860, Kingston became one of the world's leading centers of daguerreotype photography. Developed by Louis Daguerre and Joseph Nicephore Niepce. This was one of the earliest photographic processes in which the image was produced on iodine sensitized silver and developed in mercury vapor as studios established by pioneers Isaac Belisario. Isaac Mendez Belisario was the first documented Jamaican-born artist. Can I repeat that? Isaac Mendez Belisario was the first documented Jamaican-born artist. In fact, there's a suite or a room at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel that is called the Belisario Suite. That's where the name comes from. Isaac Belisario, Isaac Mendez Belisario, Belisario, was the first documented Jamaican-born artist. He was active in Kingston around emancipation, and his work in paint and in print provides a rich document of life in Jamaica, seen from the perspective of the Sephardic merchant class to which he belonged. In addition to his portrait practice, which was based at 21 King Street in downtown Kingston, Belisario painted estate portraits in oils and collaborated with a French printmaker, Adolphe Dupuy, on various print projects. J.M. Dupuy, J.M., and W.J. Kidd. In 1833, he published a lithograph depicting the 1831 Christmas Rebellion, and in 1838, a lithograph depicting emancipation celebrations in Kingston. He produced Isaac Belisario's sketches of character in illustration of the Negro population of Jamaica. He established his photographic firm in Jamaica in, according to advertisements in the Gleaner, 1840 or 1842. In the mid-1840s, he published a series of lithographs from his own daguerreotypes of Jamaican scenes. The photograph business was continued by Adolphe's eldest son, or possibly his grandson, Armand John Louis Dupuy. Armand married Rebecca Ann Demarest of Boston, who died in 1910. Two of his sons worked in the photographic business, Armand John Louis Dupuy and Theophile John Baptiste Dupuy. The firm received an honorable mention at the Paris exhibition of 1867 and the gold medal at the Jamaica exhibition of 1891. Armand John Louis died in 1903 in the United States. His body was returned to Jamaica for burial. He left his share of the business to his wife, but to be managed by his father and brother. In 1907, the firm's original premises was destroyed in that great fire and earthquake. Theophile also lost his right hand in the disaster. However, by 1909, the business had a studio at 85 King Street in Kingston. The business appears to have closed in 1922. Theophile John Baptiste Dupuy died in 1933. There's possibly a family connection with H.S. Dupuy and his son, Charles Sylvester, who were also photographers in Jamaica. On August 11, 1832, Adolphe Dupuy married Louise Deno, who was the daughter of Joseph Deno and Marie Charlotte Bouilly, a Haitian Creole. The Deno family originally came from the parish of Saint-Brice near Bordeaux in southwest France. That is why Deno is spelled D-E-S-N-O-E-S, but pronounced Deno. You don't pronounce the S. It's a French name. The most famous Deno in Jamaica was Eugene Deno of Deno and Geddes, or D&G for short, the soft drink people. Eugene Peter Deno and Thomas Hargreaves Geddes founded Deno and Geddes in 1918. They have given the world the many flavors of D&G sodas and the great Jamaican Red Stripe beer. Yeah, that was an earful and a bellyful, wouldn't you say? The history of this country is so rich, and it connects in so many ways to so many places in the world. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. Born on this day in 1902, Charles Lindbergh, the American pilot and social activist. Charles Lindbergh was the first man to fly solo across the Atlantic. This is the same Charles Lindbergh who in 1931 inaugurated Pan American World Airways southern route, Miami, Havana, Kingston, Panama, by seaplane, landing near Bournemouth, Bath in Kingston Harbor. That was a bit on Charles Lindbergh and the Jamaican connection there as well. That's what we try to do with a lot of the historical data that we collect and research. At some point or another, it ties in or comes back to Jamaica at some point or another. So we love to make those connections. What time is it? Let's see. I think it's time for us to get ready for our final break here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. But there's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. Jesus, Jesus, oh Jesus, Jesus, oh how I love to call your name.
Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious call-in program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
You shall live, declare the works of the Lord. Amen. You shall be a living testimony. You're on the Lord's side.
Always be careful of my friends. Be careful of my friends. Money can make friendship end. It makes friendship end.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:14. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:14. 现在几点了？5点13分. Well, it started out at 14 minutes to 5. It's now, by the time we got to the Mandarin just now, it changed to 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's share with you another bit of history here. Let's go to 1913. 1913, civil rights activist Rosa Parks was born on this day in 1913. Rosa Parks was the black woman who refused to sit at the back of the bus in the days of segregation in the United States. But guess what? She wasn't the first to do so. Did you know that? Rosa Parks wasn't the first black woman who refused to sit at the back of the bus in the days of segregation in the United States. On the 2nd of March, 1955, Claudette Colvin, C-O-L-V-I-N, on the 2nd of March, 1955, Claudette Colvin refused to give up her seat in Montgomery, Alabama, 9 months before Rosa Parks' famous arrest for the same offense. So why have we come to regard Rosa Parks as the first black woman, or at least as the black woman of significance who refused to sit at the back of the bus? And that's what essentially brought her fame. And as we said, she wasn't the first. Claudette Colvin, as we said, on the 2nd of March, 1955, refused to give up her seat in Montgomery, Alabama, 9 months before Rosa Parks' famous arrest for the same offense. Claudette Colvin was born on the 5th of September, 1939. She spontaneously resisted Alabaman bus segregation preceding the better-known Rosa Parks incident by 9 months. But her case was not publicized for long by black leaders because of her image as a lower-class, dark-skinned, unmarried, pregnant woman. So that's not the kind of poster child they wanted, so to speak, back then. she would have been targeted and as they say, tarred and feathered. Why? Because she was of a lower class, she was dark-skinned, she was unmarried and pregnant. So what did they do? They turned the spotlight on Rosa Parks instead. That's what happened. It was felt that Claudette Colvin's circumstances would make her an extremely vulnerable standard bearer. They would tear her to pieces. But back to Rosa Parks. January 20, 1972, Rosa Parks, whose decision not to sit at the back of the bus as blacks were told to do in Montgomery, USA, was the spark that led to the great civil rights demonstration in southern USA during the 1960s. Well, on this day in 1972, she left Jamaica with an interracial group of civil rights leaders and activists. So she had spent some time in Jamaica, and well, she left on the 20th of January 1972 with an interracial group of civil rights leaders and activists. The group came to Jamaica in search of Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream and inspiration, which he gained on his many visits to Jamaica before he was assassinated. And do we have time for a little more? I think we do. Let's go to 1960. Representatives of various church denominations participated in the dedication of the new chapel at the University College of the West Indies. The dedication service was scheduled to begin at noon. The Lord Bishop of Jamaica and the Right Reverend Percival Gibson said the prayer. Now, that striking cut-stone building, which was dedicated on this day in 1960 as the UWI Chapel, was formerly an old sugar warehouse at Gales Valley Estate in Trelawney. So what we now see as the UWI Chapel on the Mona campus, that was originally an old sugar warehouse. That structure was originally an old sugar warehouse at Gales Valley Estate in Trelawney. So how did it end up on the Mona campus? Well, in Trelawney, they dismantled the building stone by stone. They dismantled the old sugar warehouse at Gales Valley Estate in Trelawney stone by stone. Can you imagine that? Stone by stone, pulling that building apart, taking it apart. And then they moved all of those stones to the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies, where they then had to put the pieces back together in order to build what is now the UWI Mona Chapel. The name of the original owner and date of the building, Edward Morant Gale, Gale. Edward Morant Gale. And the year, the date of the building, 1799. That's how old that structure is. And can be seen along the top of the pediment, just under the roof, that information. The portico, also stone from Trelawney, was added later. The chapel was presented to the university by the owner of Hamden Estate, the late Mrs. C.M. Kelly Lawson, J.P., at the urging of Princess Alice, Countess of Athlone, and First Chancellor of the then University College of the West Indies, known today as the University of the West Indies. And on a more parochial note, the first two initials of the abbreviation UCWI have been used to refer to the university hospital as UC. Right, if you wonder, if you've heard people talk about UC and you're wondering, what are they talking about? That used to be the name for the university hospital. Why? Because the University of the West Indies wasn't always known as the University of the West Indies. It was originally known as the University College of the West Indies, UCWI. So for short, the Jamaicans would just say UC. And so that's where that came from. Do we have room for more? Perhaps one last one as we get ready to wrap. 1975. 1975. The Machado Award for Excellence in Sports for the top male and female sports personalities was presented at a ceremony at the Sheraton Kingston Hotel, which eventually became, well, we would know it as the Hilton, not too far from the Pegasus on Knutsford Boulevard there. Well, we don't know what's the status of the what used to be the Hilton, but clearly work continues on that site. But anyway, the Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year award for excellence was held on this day in 1975 at the Sheraton Kingston Hotel, starting at 7 o'clock in the evening. There were 15 people from the Machado Sports Foundation. There were 15 people whom the Machado Sports Foundation felt had made the most impact on the sports scene. But in the final analysis, Donald Quarry and Andrea Bruce were declared winners. At the Prefontaine meet in the US, he won the 200 meters in a world record 19.9 seconds. He was also a double champion at the US Amateur Athletic Union track and field meet, where he won the 100 meters from arguably the best global assembly of sprinters, setting the stage for the Montreal Olympics in the following year. For her part, Andrea Bruce became the second high jumper to be named Sportswoman of the Year for a second time. She again excelled at the CAC Athletics Championships with gold medals and record performances in both the high and long jumps. Additionally, she won bronze medals in the high jump and pentathlon at the Pan American Games in Mexico City, even though it was the first time that she was competing in that event. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Friday, the 4th of February, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns Monday afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm and encouraging you to join us tomorrow morning, 6 to 9, if you are able to, on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online. Till then, have a peaceful, safe, and blessed weekend. Sorry, I was just distracted reading something. Take care, everybody. Hi, Mrs. Barker.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Well,
How are you?
I'm not that eating that food.
Yeah, that's one of my wife's favorites, actually. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, which one is that again? That's right, right. So you're finished. Good. So I'll try to pass by and pick it up at some point.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is
Okay.
now.
Well, now I know. As soon as I'm able to, I will pass by and pick it up.
Power 106 FM now presents
Right, thanks a lot.
simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.
I saw him a couple days ago at the gate as usual, doing gate duties. A couple days ago.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, nice. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Yes, you did. I got all those details. Yes.
Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines
Yes.
today, Friday, February 4, 2022. Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced
Yes, indeed. Looking forward myself.
to $500,000 reward scheme for legal guns.
All right. Thanks for the
Man
call.
taken into custody for the killing of his parents, this morning cooperating with investigators. Dancehall
No,
entertainer
who?
Critical freed of firearm charges. AstraZeneca
Who's-
COVID-19 vaccine booster shots available in Jamaica as of Monday. In
Ah,
business news,
I think I might have heard it
steps to
in
tighten
passing.
security
I wasn't
and reduce fraud.
tuned in, so to speak. Oh well. They have to deal with whatever comes because they signed up for that kind of a job, so I have to deal with whatever comes. Yes. Well, I don't know if it was from that time. I think it was.
On Radio Jamaica 94 FM and online at RadioJamaica94FM.com.
Oh well.
Prime
The
Minister
first.
Andrew Holness has
The,
announced incentives of between $250,000
oh well.
and
Unless maybe I missed that, but the